Hello folks, I've had a little time with the Pagani Design PD-1689 and here's my review of it. Now it's a beautiful watch, and I think a beautiful classical looking watch like this should really be reviewed accompanied to violin music. But since I'm far too mean to pay royalty fees on music, and dropping music into our clips here on YouTube can be problematic from copyright grounds, you'll just have to settle for this picture of the second hand sweeping around in a nice, almost mechanical manner. Anyway, getting on with the review. Here goes. Okay, speaking about the good qualities of the watch. The case shape is lovely. These curved sides and this rose gold finish look really good on this Pagani. I inquired of Pagani Design whether it's gold plated, whether it's PVD coated, and the reply I got was it's only gold tone, but it is PVD coated gold tone. Now there's no precious metal on that watch at all, which well, shouldn't be too surprised at this price point. But I might add that Archie Luxury was talking about Longines in a disparaging manner, and while he was calling rather nice Longines watches shitters, he remarked that the gold wasn't gold on the Longines watches, it was titanium oxide or titanium dioxide or something like that that made up their gold plating, so they don't gold plate either. I think for durability, that's the reason for it, and economy, but I think that this finish looks really good. Often with a plated watch you have a look and you can see irregularities and faults in the plating, but not so with this. Even on the inside where the lugs, in between the lugs, they don't look bad at all. So that's a good point. Other good point, the crystal. The crystal is a sapphire crystal and it is slightly domed. And you see that nice distortion there? I think the doming could be a little bit more pronounced, but I think that that looks very classy indeed. So I really like the crystal on the watch. The watch has a screw down crown and claims at least 200 metres of water resistance. I think that that's very good for a dress watch. But I think on any watch with a leather strap you won't be taking it swimming anyway or showering with it. So it's probably a moot point, but it's nice to have the specification anyway. Next good point. You see that the dial? That lovely guilloche pattern on the dial, the sort of radial guilloche pattern? That's very well executed. Really nice. Now, I don't think Pagani can claim any kudos for this design because it is lifted straight off the Cellini. But if we have a look here, we can see that the indices, the applied rose gold indices, have a gap in them halfway along with a minute track in there. And the subdial, which shows the calendar, which is a really nice touch. I really like that. Also has its own radial guilloche pattern, and it has two borders in applied rose gold as well. So all in all, the complexity of the dial is really high. The hands, lovely Dauphine hands, rose gold as well. They look really good. The watch's star turn is the second hand. As we can see, the second hand's going round in a manner extremely reminiscent of a mechanical watch. I think that nobody who looks at that is going to think that you're wearing a quartz watch on your wrist. Gives it a real sense of quality. Now this is a Seiko VH65 movement, and it's the same one that you see, well, it's the same type of movement from the same family as you see in the escapement time watches that are very popular on AliExpress at the moment and with their reviewers. So it's a quartz watch that looks like a mechanical watch in function, and it is a Seiko movement. I might actually add the guilloche dial is shared by another watch in the range which imitates, homages if you like, the Seiko Cocktail Time. Anyway, there we go. This one, however, is certainly a homage of the Rolex Cellini 50515. And if you have a look at this picture, you'll see again how closely it homages the said watch. Let's have a look at the less good aspects of the watch. Now, I wasn't able to find very much wrong with this, so bear with me, but here we go. First aspect, set the scale, wait for it to 0. $56 grams. Now, with the case diameter, the size of this watch on the wrist, I think it's a little touch big for a dress watch, and I would have liked to have seen it feel a little bit heavier to give it a weightier quality. Now, what I would suggest to Pagani Design is this having a quartz movement inside. It will have a small movement compared to the case diameter, so there'll be a plastic spacer around it. I think that the weight issue, if other people considered it to be an issue, would be entirely solved if you went with an old school brass spacer. I think that would be the simple solution to this, and then the watch would feel a weight more commensurate with its implied quality and its appearance. That's the first fault with the watch, if it's a fault. It's quite subjective probably. A lot of people like lighter watches, but that's just what I think. I think it's a little bit light at that weight. The other thing about it is this strap. Now, it's not the worst leather band that I've ever seen on a watch. Far from it. The camera isn't really capturing the colour. It's looking a lot darker than it appears in natural light. It's quite a light brown with the alligator style embossing on it, but there is a polyurethane coating or something on it that makes it super shiny. Now, I don't like that. I think it makes it look cheap, it looks plasticky. My wife, on the other hand, thinks it looks beautiful. Who am I to say? I have seen some quality watch with similarly finished straps, but I think in the case of those ones, it was genuine alligator, whereas I'm pretty sure that this one isn't. Now, the strap is, however, embossed with the Pagani logo there, and Pagani Design there. But there's no legend claiming it to be genuine leather, although smelling it and looking at it really closely in the holes there, I'm pretty sure it is a leather strap. Although the quality of it I can't really attest to. I don't personally like it. The other thing is, you see the curved ends of the strap. That's curved spring bars that causes this. Now, there's rather a lot of movement there on both sides. Now, if you have a look at this picture here, as you can see, inside we have a pair of spring bars that have been quite crudely bent. Now, I was wondering if that was the problem and better curved spring bars would sort the situation out, but I had a little bit of an intuition and I decided to check out the pockets that the spring bars fit into, where the strap folds over them. And I think that this problem is due entirely to the fact that the pockets that the spring bars are in are too big. With that in mind, I did this. And here we see the watch on a faux lizard strap, but a nice lizard calf leather strap, Condor brand, and I think you'll agree that it adds a certain touch of class to the watch and is an improvement on the supplied strap. All I need now is, that's gold tone, not rose gold tone. All I need is a new clasp, which I have on order from eBay for the princely sum of not very much money in rose gold. Trouble was that the nicely signed clasp supplied was an 18mm, because there's much less taper on the supplied strap than the one I've put on it. So this is a 16mm at the clasp rather than 18mm, which would be required. 18mm on the supplied strap. Well, people, I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I've enjoyed wearing it, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.